Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time, Tuesday night edition. Hope everybody's having a great evening so far. We are going to get into a couple of injuries, a couple of players to keep an eye on ahead of the Green Bay Packers game, a Thursday night trip to Lambeau, which I will be at, of course. We will talk about the players who were able to participate in some form or fashion today. You'll hear from Mike Vrabel about some things that his Titans team is working on right now. And we'll do a gone viral video before we wrap up our evening together. Before we get started, though, need you guys to share this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, if you would be so kind. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube or on Twitch, please subscribe to the channel like Derek R. or Steven Crozio. Facebook Live like Adam Berkowitz or Juan Carlos Muniz Rodriguez. Forgive me if I've completely butchered your last name. Either way, if you're on Facebook, you can share it out to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and get this thing rolling, and more people will join in as we talk about this Titans-Packers game together. Let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Superbook Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by our friends at TrueMav Fitness. TrueMav Fitness in the Gulch in downtown Nashville. Get your fitness journey started with the best in the business and your first class free at TrueMavFitness.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Gary Ashton and the Intel Edge you need to succeed. Available to you always at GaryAshton.com. Two Rivers Ford, where you go for 2023 model year Fords, available on the lot right now in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. And of course, Superbook Sports, where you can go to wager on all the action. College basketball, like the State Farm Champions Classic, playing out right now. The NFL, the NBA, NHL, and anything else in between. Superbook Sports is your place to wager this sports season. So, as we get ready to head to Green Bay together, now a couple of things before we do get off and rolling. Because of my travel schedule, primetime, we're going to do a version of primetime tomorrow night. It's going to be a little different, and you'll see what I mean tomorrow when you pop on live. And then obviously Thursday night, there will be no prime time because I'll be working the game. You guys will be watching the game. So a little bit of a different situation tomorrow and no prime time Thursday. But you guys, I'm sure, will be just as happy to be entertained by your football team playing. I will say, though, that NFL Films came in studio today for the radio show to shoot a couple of things for the pregame of the Amazon Prime Thursday night package. So if you happen to be watching any of the pregame festivities, apparently your boy is going to make an appearance in the middle of that. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what sound bites they're going to use. I don't know if anything that we did today for an hour in the radio studio is going to make the cut, but we will see whether that happens or not. But in the meantime, we'll talk about this game and we'll talk about these injuries because they're again on pace to break the record. Like, it's pretty crazy. They're again on pace to break the record after a situation where it was unthinkable that their injury luck could possibly be this poor again. And so now, I think that as you look at the different ways that they're going to try and win this game, and you look at all the names who are missing time or banged up or on and on and on it goes, there's a couple of different things that start to concern you. So let's start with the injured players first, and I'll give you a full rundown of this injury report that they emailed to us today. I'll read it for you because remember, today was their only day of on-field practice. Tomorrow, a travel day. Did not practice today. Randy Bullock, Bud Dupree, Caleb Farley, obviously, he was placed on IR. Cody Hollister, Lonnie Johnson, and Ben Jones, who's dealing with a concussion. Jeff Simmons practiced for the first time in 3 weeks today, but he was a limited participant, so not necessarily back to full strength, but they're testing it. Guys who went from who went from limited participation to full participants: Danico Autry, Aaron Brewer, Christian Fulton, Derrick Henry, David Long, Roger McCreary, Elijah Molden, which is a good sign, Kevin Strong, and Ryan Tannehill, also a full participant today. So the injury list is long for both teams. Both teams really struggling at this point. And, as any team does at this point in the season, it's wearing on. The strain of an NFL campaign is taking its toll, and obviously the Titans are no stranger to that. But as you look at the things that, they're kind of up against beyond what we already knew about this particular Titans team, which potential injury and loss would be more impactful? It's a pretty interesting question because there's two guys who I'm fairly certain are not going to play. We'll wait for official determinations tomorrow, but there are two guys who I'm pretty sure are not going to play: Ben Jones and Randy Bullock. So the question that I want to ask you guys is this: which potential injury would be more impactful, Ben or Randy? Let's talk about it together on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. It's your Two Rivers Ford take. And as always, it's made possible by Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford, the 2023 model year Ford's available right now on the lot in Mount Juliet. You can test drive one for yourself if you like. You can do all of your shopping online at tworiversford.com the way that I did. You can custom order your next Ford from Two Rivers Ford and get the vehicle of your dreams, and always at a below MSRP price. Two Rivers Ford has been doing business in Middle Tennessee that way for nearly 40 years. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com. So, as we look at the injury situation, Jackie Hulbert says Ben Jones is going to be most impactful, but Randy is a big loss too. There is no shortage of injuries at this point, and it's something we know that the Titans are going to have to battle against. Now, I think for my part, there both is the correct answer, but to not have Ben would be pretty difficult because there's so many different things that he is key to. And I talked to his backup, Corey Levin, today in the locker room about what it is to kind of prepare for that moment. And should he be called upon, is he going to be ready to go?
So you've been here for a while at this point, not knowing necessarily what Ben's status might be. How ready for you for an opportunity that might come your way?
It's our job every day as a backup to prepare like a starter. So whatever may happen, I've been preparing every day this whole season to be in there at any moment. So just prepare like a starter.
So how realistic is something like that though? When you obviously the line is to prepare like you're a starter every day, but like what's the cost benefit analysis, I guess, when you don't necessarily know?
I'm not quite sure how to answer that other than just like I show up and try to do my job to the best of my ability. And, just with the history of how our offensive line plays, guys get injured all the time. So like I said, at a moment's notice, you got to be ready to go.
I mean, you guys have done an exceptional job with that all year long, just kind of the shuffling parts. What is it about this group that makes that process so, I don't want to say routine, but you know what I mean?
Well, we got a lot of guys that buy in and play with great effort, and the things that Vrabel preaches. A lot of team first guys, no job too small. Guys will shuffle around if they have to. It's just a good group to be a part of, and it's fun, the kind of challenges we're presented with sometimes, and how we respond to them.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
So that is Leo Mendiola says that guy looks like he smokes good lettuce. I did tell Corey, I'm like, hey, you're about to get roasted on the internet because you look absolutely baked in this video, which of course he's not. He's just, that's just Corey Levin. And, you don't talk to Corey Levin. Well, I talk to Corey because Corey's a cool guy and I enjoy chopping it up with. He's one of the guys who I enjoy chopping it up with in the locker room, but obviously we don't interview him much because Ben is the iron horse, right? He doesn't miss starts. Barely misses any time as it is, but he did look a bit fried in the video. And yeah, Chris Frazier says it correctly. Next man up. That's just going to have to be the approach at this point. Going to have to continue to be the approach for, going to have to continue to be that approach for the Titans, and a situation for them where they will have to figure out a way to mitigate all the different things that Ben does if he's unavailable to go. Sin City Titan correctly says going to be a tough night if Bullock or Jones can't go. They did sign Josh Lambo, veteran kicker, to the practice squad. So a sign of, if nothing else, Randy insurance. But I think that the situation for the team is infinitely more impacted by a potential loss of Ben Jones, because he is somebody who does so many things and is consistently available. Sin City also says, but our team motto is next man up, or is it good to great still? LOL. I think they stopped using like annual mottos. They used to do that because it was good to great the first year. What was it in the second year? I can't remember. Mike's had a couple of these, and I think that he quit doing them because we used to just hit him over the head with them every time they weren't good to great, or even when they weren't good. Or we'd come into a press conference after a game that they were neither good nor great, and then ask him, well, was that good? Was that great? Or neither? And I think he got tired of it, because those things kind of, if it happens, they get hung around your neck like an anchor. Anyway, we'll read more of your comments about this, and we'll talk about Randy specifically right after I remind you that your place to wager this sports season is, and always is, Superbook Sports. Superbook Sports is the best place to wager. Their app is clean, easy to use. It's available in the Google Play or Apple App Store, and always provides you with the best odds boosts and promotions. They allow you the opportunity to take the fight to Vegas. They'll even match your first bet up to $1,000, win or lose. So download the Superbook app today. Go to superbook.com for terms and conditions. If you've got a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. So Randy Bullock is a difficult piece to lose in the middle of all of this. I think that as Randy has had moments where I understand where there's frustrations, but Randy has largely been a really, really solid piece when they desperately needed some help in a big spot. That for the purposes of Randy and how things go, I think that this is going to be something that I'm less concerned with. Josh Lambo is a vet. They have a decent operation. Ryan Stonehouse knows how to hold. Morgan Cox is, as good a snapper as any in professional football. B French asked, what happened to Fat Randy? Well, he got injured in pregame warmups last week. It was weird because we were sitting up in the Titans radio studio, and or not the Titans radio studio, the Titans radio booth. And in pregame, it's Coach Mack, it's Mike Keith, it's Jimmy Wyatt, myself, Lucas, and Brad Willis and Philip Noel, and Rep Ryan. And hell, I think the whole crew was in there. The whole Titans radio crew was in there. Okay. And I said, Jimmy and I are getting ready to do our pregame hit. We always do a pregame hit on the Titans and the week of practice and all these different things about 15 minutes before kickoff on Titans radio. So we're getting ready to do our hit with Rep Ryan. And I saw a DM on my phone that said, hey, Randy left the field with trainers earlier in pregame warmups, and he's clearly injured something. And I asked Jimmy about it, and he said, yeah, I got a similar message, and I saw him leave with the trainers. So we didn't know what he did, but we knew that he had hurt himself doing something. Now, it turns out it's a calf injury, and I think that for the purposes of Randy, he came in, he played, he had one kickoff, but he let Stonehouse do the opening kickoff of the second half, I believe, or the first kickoff that they had in the second half. I can't remember if they got the ball in the first half or deferred. But either way, he played, he made 2 extra points and a field goal. And that is something that, it was good of him to tough it out through. But for the purposes of this game, I don't know how much it aggravated whatever he hurt to be able to go through the game the way that he did. They obviously have an insurance policy on the roster, and if they don't feel good enough, then they can roll through things with Josh Lambo for now. But at this point, it's not an ideal circumstance. So a lot of different injuries to keep an eye on, those two in particular, as we move forward. But let's talk about defensively and who may or may not be available, or frankly, what the Titans can do better defensively. What can they do better defensively? It's a difficult question to answer, but I trust that you guys will come up with some good ones. We'll get into it together on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right after I remind you that True Math Fitness in the Gulch in downtown Nashville is your place to get involved, your place to start your fitness journeys. I'm down 33 pounds. You don't have to lose that much weight. I needed to lose that much weight. I need to lose more weight. That's why I'm going to continue my fitness journey with True Math Fitness. I love the way their classes are designed. It's fun, it's free flowing, it's challenging, but not to the point where you feel uncomfortable with what you're being asked to do, because that can happen sometimes in group classes, depending on where you go. That's not the case at True Math Fitness at all. Worth and his group, they are fantastic. Their coaches are friendly. They're a great time, and they will put you in positions to succeed. Get your first class free and sign up for a membership today at truemathfitness.com. So, what can the Titans defense do better at this point? Get money back from Bud. He straight robbed Nashville, says TJ Hines. Well, yeah, the Bud Dupree contract is, I mean, he's such a damn good player when he's in there, but they've been able to do it without him, which I understand why the sentiment would be that he's not living up to the contract. He has not been consistently available, and that's obviously a problem for Bud. I don't think the health is his fault, but and straight robbed Nashville. No, you've gotten what you paid for, which was a player coming off a significant knee injury who is going into his second contract. Rarely do the second contracts play out in ways that make you feel good about what's happened. And at this point, yeah, Bud Dupree is, I don't think he's stealing money, but he's certainly not been consistently available, which is a problem in and of itself. Will Dodson Jr. says containment is something that they need to improve upon. Stop making dumb penalties on third down to keep them on the field. Craig Baxter, a brilliant comment, the correct comment. This is a weird year because they are very heavily penalized to this point, which is not something that you associate with Mike Vrabel's team. So we asked Mike about the penalties today, and I thought his answer was insightful, if not, necessarily comforting.
What's your feeling about the status of penalties? It seemed like I haven't looked game by game, but I know you're not right.
Around the league or us?
You.
I think that there's been some ones that we could have avoided. I would have loved to be able to, the operation penalties, lining up off sides, jumping, those are, I think, it could end up costing you. I think we've done a nice job of not doing the dumb stuff that hurts the team, the things that are glaringly after the play, 15 yards, maybe, I don't know, we can debate whether Sam was pulled into the quarterback, and still they put a lot of responsibility on that player. I would like it cleaned up, but I don't think it's, if we had a team that was just swinging and punching and the second guy in, and that would be disappointing. So, yes, there's some things that we would like to not have, but also just looking on a positive note, I don't think we have a team that's trying to do dumb stuff to hurt the team, hit a guy, 5 yards out of bounds late.
So that is Mike Vrabel talking about the penalties, and I understand what he's saying, right? Like Brandon Graham, for example, the Eagles defender who made a dumb penalty that lost them the game, right? Case Keenum gave himself up. Brandon Graham bowled into him anyway after he'd already taken a knee when the pass defense got him. Washington got a first down out of it because, of course, the player or of course the ref was going to throw a flag in that spot. A terrible penalty that cost the Eagles an opportunity to keep their undefeated season. They haven't had those kind of penalties. They've had some boneheaded ones. They've for sure had some boneheaded ones. But as far as the penalties are concerned, he's right. It's not in the category of dumb shit to hurt the team, but the pre-snap, the operation penalties are. There have been a handful of them, and certainly something that they need to continue to clean up. Let's wrap things up with a gone viral video. This damn Kentucky game, Kentucky-Michigan State, has gone to double overtime now at this point. I cannot. I told producer Reed is the worst. Reed is an Alabama football fan and a Kentucky basketball fan. So I told Reed we'd wait until the game was over to start prime time Now, of course, it's in double OT. So let's keep things moving. Let's do a gone viral video and wrap things up for the day. The question that I have to ask you is this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Thumbs up or thumbs down to the USFL coming to Memphis this football season, this USFL season? Give me your response on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, and we'll talk about it together right after I remind you that the place you go for the intel edge you need to succeed is always GaryAshton.com. They will get you your dream address without the stress. They will get you the home that you seek. They will get you the price that you're looking for to sell your home for more. That's what the Ashton team does with that intel edge. They continue to go above and beyond for the people that they work for. In Middle Tennessee, they live here, they love it here, and they are continuing to find ways to help benefit the community. They're also the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators. They're the official real estate agent of me, and they can be for you too when you go to get that intel edge at GaryAshton.com. So thumbs up or thumbs down to the USFL coming back to Memphis. They played the first season of USFL football. All the teams played in Birmingham. Now they get to go back to their respective cities. And I thought the promo video for this gave it a pretty interesting look.
Memphis, the birthplace of rock and roll, the home of the blues. From the banks of the Mississippi to that glow of Beale Street, everything about our city is rooted in history. Now it's time to write the next chapter. In 2023, the USFL is coming home to Memphis. The league that's already made history and captured the nation's attention is bringing pro football back to the Bluff. This is a game changer. It means real economic impact and a commitment to our city. It means the whole country watching us do what we do best, from the tailgates to the turnstiles, serving up Southern hospitality with a side of grit. Boom! It means it's time we do some showboating.
Woo! All right, here we go.
This spring, the Memphis Showboats will return to rock the USFL once again in a nation united by football.
So I love Memphis. I'm dying to make a trip down for a Grizzlies game. I think more football is always good, even if it's a lesser product and sometimes silly to watch. I do think it's entertaining from time to time. But the city of Memphis is a fantastic place. It is soaked in history and culture, and one of the most unique places in the country, to be sure. So I certainly hope that the football there succeeds. I hope the USFL succeeds there, and more football is never a bad thing. That's going to do it for us tonight on the Primetime Show. So again, tomorrow it's going to be a little different. You'll still have we'll call it a mini primetime tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So I will see you guys for a little bit there. But my travel plans to Green Bay had to change, so we had to make a few adjustments to what that is going to look like tomorrow night. But we'll still pop on at around 8 o'clock and chop it up together. No primetime on Thursday because of the game, as I reminded you. And if you were going to Green Bay, I hope to see you up there. Certainly, if you see me, stop by and say hi. It's always a great pleasure to meet you guys. Jacob Westerman says he's driving to Green Bay tomorrow evening. Jacob, how long is that drive? I'd be curious to know, because the logistical, I mean, I wouldn't drive because that sounds like a nightmare, but I probably could have driven and it'd be more efficient for all the million different planes, trains, and automobiles that it's going to take to get from Nashville, Tennessee to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Oh, he says 3 hours. He's near St. Paul. Okay. Well, then that's a much more reasonable drive. That's fine. It'll be cool. I've never done a game at Lambeau, but I'll be honest with you. I am dreading the logistical situation that it's going to take to get in and out of that place, because it's just not a lot going on in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And certainly it will be an experience. And I hate cold weather, but maybe I will be overcome with the history and the spectacle that is Lambeau Field and forget how cold I am, but probably not. And I'll bitch about the cold anyway. Anyway, have a great night. I will talk to you in some form or fashion tomorrow night. I will talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the radio show on 104.5 The Zone, and then I'll hit the airport, fly on out to Green Bay, and do it all over again. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, we haven't scored a point since I came in here. I am gone, guys.
What?
That's it?
We got a couple more questions.
out.
No, that's it.
Peace out by the GM.